This time I have a Sony SLV701HF. This is a hi-fi VHS VCR, one of the last ones that Sony brought out to market before the VHS system was basically retired. These ones are, well, let's just say they're not the classic Sony. They're not an SLVR1000 or an SLVR5 or a 757 or whatever. Any of the other ones. These ones are really cheap by comparison. Let's check it out. And that's all it does. I basically tested this unit before going on camera. It has the classic symptoms of a mode switch problem. You saw when I first tried to load it, it didn't do anything. It actually took the second attempt. But it's doing strange things here. It's changing modes on its own. And it's not playing. I got no picture. The mechanism on this one reminds me of those Iowa M110 cheap PAL NTSC mechanisms. It's got like 3 belts on it and three motors, one loading motor that controls everything. Drum and capstan motor, and the capstan motor also operates the front loader to load and eject the tape. It's controlled by cams and clutches. So, very mechanical problem prone. Seems to have a transport problem. Maybe a bad mode switch. Cat's hungry. This is one of the chassis that I've done lesser work with. I don't know what year this one was. It was probably early 2000s, I'm thinking. I guess we can look on the back of it. It's one of the later mechanisms that Sony had. Not one of their better ones, I don't think, either. Oh yes. This looks like that same crappy mechanism that Iowa M110s used. So it's got basically 3 belts, and they're in good shape on this one, which is unusual. Usually these belts turn to mush, but they have not failed on this one. They use they got optical sensors on the rail tables here, and this is how they're connected by these little just push-in connectors, which are problematic on their own. Looks like the motor, the drive IC is made by Mitsubishi on this one. Just kind of getting a feel for this. Mode switch is right down here. I can see that. And basically this is I guess a 3 motor design. Capstan motor, drum motor, and loading motor. Capstan motor does everything. It even loads and unloads the cassette. These are the gears that have a tendency to turn yellow and crack on some of the machines. Grease looks pretty dry on all these gears. They could use lube, and of course that mode switch could probably use a cleaning, although it's going to be tough to get at on this one. I'm going to clean the mode switch if I can get to it, because some of the symptoms that this is doing is just right there, right, indicating it has a dirty mode switch. I got to do a bit of disassembly to get to that. Belts have to come off first. Just wait till you see the amount of disassembly required just to even see the mode switch. And I'm not even going to take it out to clean it. I'm going to clean it in the chassis, because this is an absolute joke once you see what I got to do to get to it. It's underneath that black gear, just in front of my finger there. The one on the left. It's under there. And to get to it, you got to disassemble the entire mechanism. That's what's holding on the gear. Ah, okay. And then this gear should pop out. Comes out like that, and then I should be able to lift out the cam. I have to pull this forward or take it off. I have to lift off this one too. Now I'm just going to make sure that my alignment, I've got a timing mark here, so I'm going to find them. Black here is hard to see. There's a mark there. So I want to make sure that I'm in the right time, in the right phase. There should be marks on here. It's looking for them. The timing marks are indeed hard to see, but they're actually two raised teeth right here. These two are higher. You can see here. Those two are higher, and they line up with that little notch. That's your point of alignment, okay? You can probably see that with the light at that angle. These two are higher, and they line up. That tooth there, this mark right here, sits between these two. That's your timed position. I got to pull the cut washer off over here to remove this gear, or remove this lever. That should just pop off there, I think. Is that a cut washer? It looks like it. Yeah, it's a cut washer. Just hard to see. There's a split on it right there, I think. Looks like a split. Yeah, it is. So we'll take this cut washer off. And of course Sony would say, never reuse a cut washer. Always buy a new one. That's what they would always say. Don't reuse your cut washers. Well, we're going to reuse them because I don't have a new one. Okay, this should lift out now. Something else will probably go springing away with it when I do that. Oh, hold on. That's not going to lift away. I actually have to turn this and get this out of this position. I have to turn this over like this to get the get this free so that I can lift it. Interesting design, because it's trapped by the chassis. Interesting. So I got to put it in the loaded position pretty much to get this out. I think this is probably for the pinch roller. That's what that's for. Well, isn't that an issue? I got to lift this up to get this gear out of here to get to the mode switch, but there's a chunk of chassis in the way. Now, how am I going to solve this? This is a dilemma. If I remove this spring, So that'll take the tension off of it. Now can I lift it? Now I can lift it. A lot of work just to get to the mode switch to clean it on this thing, isn't it? Turn this back around. Back down to that home position. Now I can remove this clip. I'm showing this pretty much in its entirety just so you can see the process that needs to be done, because there's a lot of these machines out there that are going to need this work done on them in order to maintain their reliability. They're all old as hell now, and they're all acting up, the ones that are still working, that is. I tell you, some people have nerve. I'm giving away a plasma TV, and the person says, "I'll take it off your hands, can you deliver it?" Like, really? No, I can't deliver it. Come and get it. Oh, but I don't drive. That sounds like a you problem. My son was one of those that didn't drive. And he's like 24 now, right? He finally got his driver's license. I guess he woke up and realized that these days you pretty much need a car to do pretty much anything. Remove this gear too. Oh boy, and this one. What the? Jesus, they sure don't make this easy to take apart, do they? What a joke. I gotta remove this clutch. This is the clutch that opened. This is what operates this clutch. This pushes this piece back and forth to engage and disengage the clutch that drives the cassette mechanism. This is what loads and unloads it. I gotta take this out of here, and it is what's holding this up. Oh, it's got another washer on it. That's why. But I should be able to get this cog out of here without taking anything more apart. Maybe not. You gotta be kidding. Just to get to the mode switch, it's under here. Just to get into that mode switch, I gotta take this all apart, including removing this other cut washer. And risk losing the spring that's below it when it flies off. I take this off very carefully so as not to have the spring disappear. Okay, I can take that off. Now I can lift this out. And now I can lift off this gear. Just so I can get into the stupid switch and spray some cleaner into it. I'm not even going to take the switch apart. I'm just going to get in here with some cleaner and just give it a good shot and soak it. That's going to have to do because I don't feel like taking that switch out. That's going to have to do it because, say, this one here is just, you know, pain in the ass. Put this back together. Line these up so that it's between the. Now, I gotta make sure that that switch is going to go in on the bottom, that nothing turned, because this is going to turn this. How does it turn it? Oh, there's a keyway right here. Okay, that keyway is going to line up with this notch. So the notch is right around there. That's going to be fun. So I got my pull this clip back. That's in the home position, which is lining up with this slot in the bottom of the gear. I drop the gear in place as I get my it should lock in here if my mode switch is in the right position. Okay, I'm pretty sure I got that piece back in properly. Everything looks to be lining up okay there, so I can start to put the unit back together. That arm goes in first, and then the first of the two wheels for the clutch is one, and then the other piece goes on top here. That piece goes on. I got this other piece to go on over here. And I gotta rotate this around in order to get it into the right position. Actually, it might have dropped in without rotating the gear if I pulled the pinch roller on the top side into its correct position without the spring on it. It should have dropped in, but I've never taken one of these apart before, so I'm learning as I go. I'm pretty sure that's what this is for. This is for the pinch roller. And get it on the right side of it. There we go. Okay, now I can bring this back. Put the cut washer back on and the spring. There we go. Almost. There we go. That's in place now. Okay. All right, that's in place now. What else is left? I got a couple more gears to go in here. I got this one here that goes in place like that, and then there's the top that goes onto this other one, and There's also another cut washer that goes on top of this one. Hold that little arm in place. I got this top of this gear that fits on here. And I got some belts to put on. There's a small one that went from here to the underside of this one. Went to that pulley down there. The larger one, that gear looks like that's starting to crack. This one went around here, like that. That's the main drive. And then there was this one here that went around this pulley. Kind of like that. All right. Okay, it's back together. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I guess we'll find out pretty quick. Let's turn it around and see what happens. This is the first time I've ever cleaned the mode switch on one of these units. Probably be the last. Because, as you can see, it wasn't easy to get to. Okay, let's see what happens if I try loading a tape now. I should clean these switches too. There's another switch down here. These pinches all get dirty. It's working. My tape's at the end. I got to rewind it, so we'll just hit stop. We'll hit rewind. Let's see, we got a picture.
In North America, 45% of the population suffers from some form of allergy symptoms.
Noise reduction on and off. You see the difference? Noise reduction off.
A growing number of new and virulent germs
Noise reduction on.
have spread through our environment. The deadly outbreaks brought on by these microorganisms created a greater awareness of the air
tape position. You need the remote control, I guess, to turn that off.
The germs and viruses we all breathe every day. Now, there is a simple and
Okay, let's just check out forward search, reverse search, play.
extra intelligent filter, the XIF.
Looks like a vacuum cleaner to me.
The secret of the XIF is a patented ultraviolet technology. Ultraviolet germicidal lamps have been used for years in hospitals to sterilize equipment and operating rooms. The food industry uses UV.
The old Vancouver General Hospital.
Bacteria.
I remember when I shot this video.
Communities are turning to ultraviolet technology to purify public drinking water supplies.
Yeah, okay, well, that's not me doing the voiceover, incidentally. That was a radio personality doing that. But that was one of my videos that I would... I'm almost embarrassed to say that I did that type of stuff. It was a corporate shoot, right? So... this one here looks to have already had the little cleaning foam removed. I guess it was shot, it was deteriorating. Okay, I'm going to throw the bottom on this unit now. We'll make a test recording and make sure everything works, but I think everything should be good at this point. When you put the arm back in, that metal arm, this is the lever that controls the pinch roller. You got to make sure it's on that correct side, because the pinch roller will drop out of position, and when you try to first seat that will be on the wrong side. So I don't know if you saw it on camera, but I did do that. You know what I got to do on this before putting it together? We're going to lubricate the gears on the bottom because they were dry. All right, so we need to put some grease in here, and in this one, and in this cam here. Lubricate the metal parts that move. the top side as well, but give a bit of grease to the guides. Put it through the paces so you can see the lubricant get distributed.
Public drinking water supplies.
Okay, that should take care of the bottom side of this. We'll put the bottom on it, and put some on the top side, and then this machine will be good for... I think these probably were on the downfall of Sony. If you can get like an SLV1000 or an SVO2000 or an SLVR5 is also very good. They had a good, fairly reliable mechanism. Yeah, they had the blue gear that went on those ones. But that's an easy, that's a really easy fix, the blue gear. And you shouldn't discount those machines because of the blue gear problem, because again, it's a real simple fix on them, and they're reliable. They're really reliable, those machines. It's probably one of the more reliable VCRs that you are going to find on the market is that Sony chassis. This one here, no. I would not recommend one of these ones just because, well, you can see how bad this mechanism is as far as a service point. I mean, it probably doesn't have a lot of point of failures, although these gears turn yellow and fall apart, these little gears. Now, see what they've tried to do on here is they've tried to minimize the stress by removing the plastic and giving it spokes. The idea behind that is that the gear itself, when the plastic shrinks, won't crack. That's the idea behind this, is that it can allow shrinkage without crackage, but it still makes for a gear that is not as strong, I don't think, as a regular gear would be.
One super straight.
I rewind this tape back to the beginning just to do a test recording. And just gonna figure out what I'm gonna record.
But I couldn't be anywhere else. I just.
I'll just make a recording
I love
right
this
there.
life so much.
This is just a recording I'm making off
I
of
wanted to take over the farm and keep, my mom and dad's legacy.
something that was on TV.
Unfortunately,
So I gotta kill the sound here just so that just record here for. Oh, I can. This is a promo for something, so I can watch this. I can record this. Picture of a farmer. It's a TELUS production, so I can record this. This is a commercial, so I can show it to you guys. That's always good. It's a promo for something that TELUS has done on their own channel. So I'll let this record just for, well, probably long enough now. I don't know what I erased. Oh, my aquarium was on the beginning. That's okay. I rewind this back. Make sure that it recorded.
So I did it my way.
Children come into our care because they need love and care. and then also seen his
So it's recording, which is good. Everything's good on this one. So saved another one from the scrap heap. A little bit of work, but with that mode switch cleaned and the mechanism lubricated on here, it should be good for a while. Not that I don't think this unit's going to see much use, but it is now a functional machine, and when I started on it, it was doing weird things, like stopping and starting on its own. So hope you enjoyed this one.
Mold.
Just remove the tape.
Place the frozen piece of gum.
And we'll say thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.